Today in GialloZafferano kitchen, I'm going to prepare a recipe that represents me a lot. Raw ham broth with sliced cod fish, radish and crispy bread. Let's begin. Let's start with the preparation of the raw ham broth. I already have sliced raw ham slightly thicker than usual, because now I'm going to julienne it with a knife. So I put the slices one on the other, like this, and then cut them. Now with the knife must always be very sharp, so the blade of the knife is very important to cut the ham regularly. This is the cut we have to make. It must also be very regular cut because it allows me to saute the raw ham better and also create a uniform browning to give more flavor to the broth. And after I cut the raw ham, I take it and put it inside this container. Now I take some shallots. Peel them, so with a smaller knife I'm going to peel the shallots. I remove the first skin, so I'm going to do like this. Then the shallots that I've peeled will also be cut into regular thin slices. The shallot is peeled, so what do? I cut it in half with a knife and cut it into slices. Then I slide the knife through the shallot. Obviously, mind your fingers. I will continue with the preparation of the broth. Let's heat up the casserole dish. I add a little extra virgin olive oil to give it a bit of fat, because the ham fat is not enough. The casserole is warm. I add the ham and brown it. In this preparation, in the raw ham broth, I do not add salt because I use the natural flavor of the raw ham. The sauté must always be monitored. It is important that the casserole is always warm, because otherwise the temperature of the casserole drops. The ham becomes boiled, and this is not good. To understand if the ham is browned to the right point, you can also taste it. So you can feel if the ham has got the crunchiness that we need then to complete the dish. Now I'll add the shallot to the raw ham. It is important to mix the shallot well to ensure that it is evenly distributed inside the pot. Now that the shallot is browned well with the ham, I add the water to start cooking the broth. The important thing is the water to be cold, because this allows me to extract the flavor of the ham and get a more intense taste. Now, the boiling has begun, so at this stage you have to be very careful, because it is important that the boiling is very strong at the beginning, in order to bring the impurity to the surface. When it starts to simmer, lower the heat and let simmer for about 45 minutes. 45 minutes have passed, and now I can filter the raw ham broth. This way, I remove the saucepan from the plate and fish the liquid part. I'll use this ladle. As you can see, the broth is almost transparent, so I've already obtained natural clarification during cooking. This is very important, because a lot of boiling allows me to clean and make the broth more transparent. I use a strainer and this food paper that serves precisely to filter the broth. Now keep the ham and shallot aside to use them for another preparation. I put the broth in the blaster chiller. If you don't have a blast chiller at home, you can use the freezer, then let it cool. This operation will bring the fat to the surface. This is the consistency of the broth obtained after having put the broth in the blast chiller or in the freezer. The fat came up to the surface, so it solidified because of the cold, and I can remove it. With the help of this little ladle, I remove all the fat to get very clear broth. Because the broth must be very clear and transparent. What is the other important aspect of this recipe? That we don't throw anything away, so we use all the ingredients. Here I have the ham with the shallot, which I place on this plate like this, because then I'm going to dry it in the oven at 70 degrees for 24 hours and make a ham powder. The important thing is to spread it well. The wider it is, the more evenly you can dry it. Let's put it in the oven, 70 degrees for 24 hours. This is the final result after 24 hours of baking. So it's crunchy, and I will blend it. I put the dried ham and shallot inside the container, and I blend them. I'll show you how it is pulverized, and that's the effect I wanted to achieve. Let's move on to the radish. In a small casserole, I put the red wine vinegar, the water, the salt, and begin boiling. While I wait for it to start boiling, I take the radish, I remove the green part, the tuft. I've already washed radish in water, then I cook it for 20 minutes. When it is cooked, if you want, you can also store it in the fridge for a few days. The important thing is that it always stays inside its liquid. I continue with the preparation of the parsley bread. I've some parsley already cooked, so the parsley leaves have been blanched very quickly in salted water, drained, squeezed, and then blended normally. I got this cream that I put inside my container. I add seed oil, water, cornstarch, melted butter. All the ingredients are inside the container, and I blend them. I start stirring slowly so it blends very slowly. We should get a very smooth and velvety cream. The mix is ready, so now I'll cook it. I'll put a large pan, turn the heat and warm it. The effect you have to aim to is almost like a crepe. So I put the mixture inside the pan and let it cook and dehydrate. So this baking makes this type of crunchy bread. Leave it about 15 minutes. It is important that you keep a constant temperature to have regular cooking. Needs to simmer slightly. This allows you to dry the liquid parts and make it crunchy. It cooks and prepares without much attention. The crispy bread is ready. I remove it from the pan and let it drip a little bit. This way, we call the net effect. I put it on the cutting board. I help myself with the pasta cutter to make discs. They will be used to complete the dish, so this is the effect that you get. The crunchy bread disc that we will put in the dish during the serving. Now, I only need to deal with the cod. I have the cod fillet ready. I use this type of fish because I can find it already filleted. I cut it in half, and I will steam cook it. So I have this casserole prepared with hot water and salt. Then we will put the 2 cod slices to cook, and we'll let them cook for 6-7 minutes so that the cod remains soft and we can open it in slices. The cod is ready, 7 minutes have gone past, and I take it from the steamer like this. I help myself with this spatula. I place the cod on the chopping board. Let's use a knife and toothpicks to open the cod in the best way. The characteristic of this fish is precisely that we can create this layered effect to obtain also different consistency of the fish. This cod is ready to be served with a raw ham broth. An important tip: always taste what you prepare to check if the cooking is good, if the flavor is right. Very nice. Let's dish up. I place the single layers of cod in this way to create a fan effect. I continue with ham powder. As you can see, the cod has not been salted, because the sapidity is given by the raw ham powder. I take the radish, cut it into 4, so 4 radish slices, 1 for each serving. I add the slice of radish, add the crispy bread, resting it on top of the radish, and you see in transparency, through the holes of the crispy bread, that there's radish. The last ingredient that is missing and needs to be added to the dish to complete it is the leading raw, the raw ham broth that I add in this way, so we get these iodine textures, the ham, the vegetables. I recommend this recipe if you have to conquer a special person. I warm my wife with this dish. See you for the next recipe on GialloZafferano.